What's up, guys? Kawa here. So, if you watched my live stream, I actually finally pulled the champion that I always wanted, Taskmaster, as a 5-star character. So, I'm super excited to finally have this guy. I'm just I was out of my mind when I finally pulled him, and he's so cool. He's just, if you're wondering why I wanted to get Taskmaster, he's just like the coolest character next to Deadpool. They're pretty much like tied, like best looking guys in the MCU. So this version of Taskmaster actually looks super awesome. They kind of mixed his old school look with his technology suit look to give him an interesting vibe that has both outfits combined. And I really like how he looks in this game. I think he's badass. So I'm just super happy to have him. Yeah, if you can see here, I'm just quickly ranking him up. I was ranking him up on live stream, and then my phone died, so I just recorded the rest for you guys so you could see that if you're interested. There's so many reasons why I want him, and secretly I think he's one of the better champions in the game, but not many people know. I'm going to be taking up, I just hit rank 4 on him. He's going to be extremely powerful once I take him up to rank 5. I'm probably going to be the only person with him at rank 5, but I'm cool with that. I'll be getting the prestige data to mute him at once I put him up. And then I'm going to be using him to clear Act 5 on livestream, and I'll be streaming it for you guys, showing you guys kind of like what he does. And I'll be explaining to you guys what happens when you use certain effects that he has. He's really complicated when you first read his abilities, but once you get the hang of him, he's not that hard to play. And he's got a lot of utility and also not bad damage output. So combined together, I think he's actually one of the better champions. He's in the skill class though, so he's competing with Blade, so I'm sure the majority of people won't have any use for him because of that. But he's just such an awesome character. I was just checking every different piece of ISO in here just because I just was running out of time on the solo event. There was skill advancement level up, and I had to just get it done right before the event ran out. So as you can see, rank 4 Taskmaster now, looking great. So this is my very first fight with him. I went straight to Winter Soldier with him, threw in the synergy with Winter Soldier there. Or no, with Crossbones, so he would gain power when I exposed a weakness. But obviously I'd never fought with him before this. He's got pretty good crit stats, decent stats, really good block proficiency, a decent amount of armor. As a 5-star, most 5-stars have a little bit of armor. He's got a couple of passives I'll talk to you guys while we're fighting Winter Soldier, as you can see here. He's got the exploit weakness, it does 1300 damage. His heavy attack has some unique effects. His level 1, 2, and 3 all do some unique effects. I'll just talk about them and how they work. But yeah, I just took the mutant team in with Crossbones here, just to show kind of how he works. So right at the start of the fight there, landing a couple hits with him. Yeah, his animations are kind of interesting. The first time you use him, you're kind of not sure how they work. I didn't do great in this fight because I didn't really know how to play him because it was my first time, but I'm so excited just to have him. So basically, when you're using Taskmaster, if you're awakened, he's a totally different character because you apply concussions whenever you expose a weakness. And if you guys don't know how that works, basically an exposed weakness is the enemy will use an ability, and then when it's not on cooldown, whatever last ability they use, it will tell you to match that. So if he does a light, you do a light. Medium, you do a medium. Heavy, you do a heavy. Same with the L1 and L2. And when you expose the weakness, it can't be dodged. It does a bonus chunk of damage. And if you're awakened, it applies a concussion debuff on the enemy. And the concussion debuff reduces their ability accuracy, but also gives you a boost to your special attack damage. Basically, for each debuff applied on your enemy, the L1, throughout the fight gets up to 10 times a percent attack increase, so it can do a lot of damage and put a fat bleed on. And the L2, for each buff the enemy does, the L2 does a stronger armor break. So if you fight somebody like Groot or Old Man Logan, the L2's armor break is going to be incredibly powerful. And then the L3 does both those effects, the armor break and the bleed, and it gets bonus damage for both effects, for debuffs and buffs. And basically how the heavy works is, you see that gray timer right now, how it's counting down? When that's counting down, if you do a heavy attack, it will actually just jump right to the next exposed weakness for you. So, and when you complete an exposed weakness with a light or medium attack, you actually have that little red timer. It's brand new, just came out, was added to the game. It actually allows you to do it shows you when you can do your heavy, and it will be a miss for the opponent. So you can do like exposed weakness medium and then a heavy, and then that will reset the cooldown on the next exposed weakness. And say if it shows up as a light again, then you just land another light and then do a heavy right after again, and you can chain them to build up your concussion debuffs. And once you hit 5 concussion debuffs, it becomes a super concussion debuff, and it grants additional effects for you. And also, the more debuffs, the more damage he does. So he's pretty sick character. This is a war here. I'll show you guys. This was actually the most recent war we had. We didn't do that great in this war, but I did take Taskmaster in right away just so I could test him out a little bit. You're probably going to be seeing him in all my war videos coming up, just because he's so badass, and he's going to be rank 5 eventually. But basically, like, some of the passive Taskmaster has is whenever an opponent uses a unique attack, you gain increased block proficiency, and you also gain, you reduce the enemy's offensive ability accuracy. So basically, if they do a light, medium, heavy, L1 or L2, each one is 10%. So you can have 50% block proficiency on him and ignore 50% of their offensive ability. So say you're fighting a Juggernaut, that's 50% chance that his Unstoppables won't even proc. So he's pretty sick, and that can happen pretty early in the fight. If you just bait out a heavy and then do a light and medium, you're at 30%, and you're good to go. And the same for him, you ignore their defensive, like Electro and Spider-Man. If you do a light, medium, heavy, that's 30%, and then if you can pull off an L1, L2, you get to 50%. So he's got up to 50% offensive and defensive ability accuracy, pretty much like 20 hits into the fight if you try to get it off. So here I'm fighting a Spider-Man in war. This is pretty much my first time using Taskmaster in war, and I was just trying to test out the exposed weakness and heavies and stuff. I dropped an L1 there, but it's a bleed immune node, so I couldn't really see how much bleed damage I was doing. And yeah, missed time to intercept there. Just trying to get the exposed weakness. And again, the exposed weakness can't be evaded, so whenever I land that, it's awesome. So right now, my first light here will expose, and then he won't be able to evade that light. And here I just dropped the L1. I could trigger the unblockable there. I think that might be the synergy with Winter Soldier, but didn't really need it. Easy kill, didn't take too much damage there. But yeah, he's got awesome block proficiency. He's basically got danger sense about 20 hits into the fight, 50% offense and defensive on everyone, not just villains or mystics. And his damage actually goes super high once you have the big concussion debuff I was talking about, once you've got the 5 exposed weaknesses. Because when you trigger a special attack exposed weakness effect during the super concussion, each exposed weakness does damage. I don't know if you guys seen BG's video, but you can do some crazy damage with that. So once my guy is duped in rank 5, you'll be seeing a lot of that. I'm planning to clear Labyrinth of Legends with Taskmaster, so you guys are going to be seeing him a lot. Here we just jumped into this flare node. We got Ultron fighting Angela and just beating on her. Not too worried about this fight. She does have a pretty good regen on this node, but it's not enough to stop Ultron from beating him down. So I ate some pizza before. It doesn't feel that great. Note to self, don't eat pizza. Alright, down. And yeah, Taskmaster, he's just so cool. I'm just in love with him. It just makes me so much more excited to play the game. I can't believe I got him. I'm going to be having the videos coming up pretty quick. Cuts from the live stream. I'm going to show when I pulled him and all my openings. So you guys can stick around, watch those videos. That'd be cool. And then the last fight we got here is the mini-boss. This is pretty much the path I take every war, and the mini-boss I take just depends who's there. I'll either take the debuff immune, or I might take the regen mini-boss. So This fight doesn't go that smoothly here. I take Taskmaster in just because I wanted to try him out on a mini boss and just see how it felt. And his damage actually felt pretty good. Cable on this node isn't the best mini boss, but the thing is, when you're fighting a Cable mini boss, or pretty much any strong Cable, he's got the touch of death heavy. So there's a couple champs with that, like MODOK, Cable, anyone with a heavy attack that inflicts a really strong debuff on you can definitely kill you, especially on a mini boss. So if he lands a heavy on you, you're gonna probably degen to death, unless you have a very strong regen or you were at a high level of power when you got hit by it. But yeah, here I'm just fighting him, just trying to use my high block proficiency that he gets, trying to expose a couple weaknesses. Not trying to bleed Cable. If you bleed him, you'll get degen, so I'm trying to avoid using an L1 against him. And I'm still very fresh in the animations. This is like literally the second time I fought with Taskmaster, so I'm just learning everything about him. There I dropped the heavy and it worked out, so that's pretty cool. And then we land the exposed there. See that red timer? During that I could have actually dropped another heavy, but I think I might have forgot that this node had strike back. But see, the strike back can actually probably be negated by his passives. And the one passive that I didn't even talk about yet, he's got the ability that each debuff on him, the potency gets reduced by 10%. And Kabam has confirmed this works with Suicide Mastery, so if you take like Bleed first then Poison, the Poison is going to be reduced by 20% on Suicides, and you should actually be able to heal a tiny amount the whole fight. So he's got so many like little tricks and things people don't really understand about him yet, but maybe I can start exposing those. And you see how much damage that L2 did? Because each buff he triggered this fight boosted the damage on that L2. So it actually was pretty hard hitting, even with class disadvantage. So once again, I'm super in love with Taskmaster. You're going to be seeing him all the time. And just trying to finish out this fight here. I pretty much, yeah, I screwed up there, got punched in the face. It happens when you're just learning a new character and trying to figure out exactly how to deal with the AI and how they maneuver. So I went back in here with Ultron. Obviously, if I used Ultron off the flop, I probably would have one-shot this guy. Ultron has such a good matchup against Cable because he can block the specials and actually take almost 0 damage with his energy absorption. And he also has bleeds but doesn't degen himself, so he can actually inflict extra damage on him. And that's generally how I deal with Cable's L1, is I'll block the first tick of the bullets and then evade out of them and then dash in a second later. Because if you dash the second right away, you'll actually dash into the second burst of bullets. You kind of have to wait and then go in. And there he did his heavy, or special 2, sorry, and basically when I deal with that, all I do, I kind of let go of block there in the middle of the bullets, but didn't trigger an evade, so I kind of got shot. But you'll see his regen just comes back. Sorry, this pizza is not feeling great. So yeah, this is a L2, just evade and then evade again. You can't really go in to punish that, so I haven't seen it, but maybe certain characters with Unstoppable could block it right in his face and then punch him. So just getting a couple of hits in here, get a parry, keep wearing on him. I mean, it's been about half the time limit now, and I've done about half his life, so it would definitely be possible with I have right now rank 4 Assassinate, so I could pretty much take him out in the time limit, no problem. The only thing that slows you down is if he was duped, you'd have to bait way more, so it'd actually be a lot harder to do it in one fight. But I also didn't boost at all, so I could actually make up for that. And drop a fat L2, and he's down. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back with more videos. And Taskmaster! Such a beast. We lost this war. It sucks.